we could actually do with... it almost looks like these boys think it's a tournament where there's a third prize and a second prize, and they're waiting for Stan Garber to get knocked out before anyone gets too busy.
Cool.
Yeah, good point. Second place gets nothing here, does it?
Absolutely.
It's only the first that goes through. There's not even qualifier seat, and there's been... There's been a raise by Stan Gerber from the small blind.
No, he's flat called.
Oh, excuse me.
He's flat called. He just didn't put the right amount of money in there. That's the problem.
They called a... right.
If there was such a thing as a string call, that would have been it.
Flop comes down there for free, and Garber has made a pair of kings. Manfredi has missed completely.
$20,000. Pass.
Well, that's a pot for Stan Garber. First one he's had in a while, and even the little ones are going to help him in a serious way. They may buy him another round, Gary.
Absolutely. It just means that he can carry on bleeding away for a little bit longer. Really need him to find a couple of hands. If he finds two hands back to back, he could actually pick up and become our chip leader. It's that close between the all of the boys, but unfortunately, I don't think he's got the moves to keep stealing. He really is going to have to find a series of hands to do well.
Tournament, no limit hold'em, a game of stealing at the highest level. Garber needs to pick up ground. He doesn't play that often. Says he'd love to play more. As he used to be a professional games player at the age of 13 when he was rated 2400 in the chess world, which is near Grandmaster stage, I believe.
Pass. Pass.
Pass, pass. Manfredi from the small blind with a suited Kojak. And that starts to look very good this stage, doesn't it, Gary?
Raise.
Absolutely.
40,000 total.
The raise is to 40,000. That's a raise of 25,000. And Zeiselman says, I cannot compete at all. Give the money to Manfredi. Move the button, post the blinds. 7 and 15,000 now. The only sound clacking of the chips and Amanda's shuffling of the cards.
I think none of these boys want to go out. They're all quite happy and comfortable in the studio.
Well, they've flown all the way over from across the pond. Figure they may as well get their money's worth in TV time, huh?
Absolutely.
Pass.
Folded around to the small blind, and Zisselman, no, excuse me, to the button. It's on Manfredi.
Pass.
Now it's on Alex, and he's been aggressive from this position on David Webb's big blind.
Pass.
He says, no, what was it, 3 high?
7 deuce offsuit. That monster of a hand he's decided not to try and steal the big blind with.
70 hands looking at the largest pots won. David Webb, of course, won the biggest pot. On the 4th hand only, that was the hand against Brian Johnson. Beyond that, they've been split around, and that's how the chips are. Split up kind of evenly.
Raise to 50,000.
Raise to 50,000.
But with 10 and 20,000 in the pot right now, it looks like the first to bet big is going to be in a strong position. And Manfredi coming straight in with a raise of 50,000. Zeiselman with the king-jack. That's a tough decision, Gary.
Yeah, he hasn't seen Arthur making too many bold plays, so he might figure that he's up against an ace here.
These blinds so big, that opening bet so big, does Zeiselman have Any plays other than raise all in or fold, or what is that?
Well, a lot of these boys are being a bit cautious about throwing all of their chips in there. He might want a slightly stronger hand before he wants to play.
Pass.
If he had played, he would have been happy. Here comes Webb.
That's what I was scared of.
Queen 10. Everybody's got face cards. And if he's counting out 50,000, Gary, that's a big percentage of a stack, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big percentage of anyone's stack to actually want to put in there,
Call.
hoping to flop something, you know, if he... And the problem with the Queen 10 is you don't know what you want to flop. You could be up against an ace queen, you could be up against an ace 10, you could be up against an overpair.
Stan Garber from the big blind, it'll only cost him 30,000, and there was so much in that pot, he had to think about it with the Queen 7. As it is now, 20% of the chips in play in the center with the flop to come. Manfredi with the Jack 10, he's beat right now by David Webb.
And he's dominated, but it could be a case of betting first, trying to steal this pot if neither of them flop anything.
Here comes the flop. What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? I think we may find out. They've both flopped 2 pair kings and 10s. And Zeiselman there trying to keep a straight face. He just folded 3 kings. Poor guy. But David Webb, kings and 10s. And the queen plays, Gary.
Absolutely. At the moment, David Webb's in quite a nice position.
50.
50,000.
Arthur doesn't know where he is.
If Manfredi does call, how serious shape is he in?
Well, at the moment he's now drawing to a jack to win, an ace or a 10 to split,
Pass.
as well as a king. So he hasn't got a great deal of cards to actually hit to get out of this, and he's decided to discretion's the better part of valor, and he's laid the hand down.
Well measured fold by Arthur Manfredi, but that is a big swing David Webb's way. And after some mid-season jitters, David Webb has picked up where he left off earlier. Gary Jones, look at his Manhattan.
Absolutely, that's a really nice pot for him to pick up. Puts him back into the chip lead and gives him quite a nice lead over Alex Zisselman in second place.
Absolutely
Pass.
nothing there. 6 duck to the
Pass.
Webster.
20,000.
And Toronto Art getting a bit cute there. Little raise with the king queen takes the pot. How long has it been since we've seen a flop?
Quite a while, actually. We're doing raise and take it at the moment, which is kind of what you expect at this level. You'd hope that all of these players are capable of playing like that. Someone just needs to open up a little bit more, not need quite a stronger hand to start do the raising to really take advantage of this pot, to take advantage of this situation.
Garber now under the gun, which means the blinds are coming around. And is that the kind of hand he should be moving with?
Pass.
It's going to be the next hand, really, I think, for Stan. He can't afford to let the blinds go through him. If he loses 20,000 in the next hand, he's in all sorts of trouble with only 31,000 left.
Zeiselman's found the 96 and just says,
Pass.
you take it, chip leader. And, we have not seen many false raises.
30,000.
And that's going to hurt Stan Garber. Our tournament director, Thomas Krems, has just put up the blinds to 15 and 30,000. And poor Stan Garber's only got 51,000, and he's going to have to put the big blind in on 30.
Yeah, that'll ring the bells, because 15 and 30,000 is the largest blinds that we can reach in this tournament. The blinds will be frozen at that stage, and with 4 players left, Gary, I mean, the money's in the center.
Absolutely.
It's nearly 10% of the money in play in the center before the hand starts, 7.5%.
Sorry.
I raised to 60.
Okay. Raise 60,000 total.
Double the blind, says Arthur Manfredi, which is nearly half his total chips.
And Stan Garber's definitely going to be making a stand on this hand with his only 30,000 in the pot.